If you always dream big but do nothing about it, then this video is for you. Hey everyone, I'm Rikraj, and in this video we will talk about why so many people are always stuck in the dreamer mode for their lifetime and how can you break out of that. As for the structure of the video, first we will understand what is the dreamer versus doer mode, why there are so many people who are stuck in the dreamer mode for their lifetime, and what can you do to break out of the dreamer mode and do the thing that you always wanted to do. So we as humans always dream of something better, a better life, a better situation, a better living, and that's what helps us to move forward. So when we were kids, we had these big dreams, and if somebody asks, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" and they'd say, "I want to be a doctor, I want to be a scientist, I want to be an actor or a singer." But as we grow up, as we move forward with our lives, we realize these things are so hard to do, and gradually we move towards this reality and we face this reality in our own life, and it hits us so hard that either we abandon our dreams altogether or we take it, we live with it, and we do absolutely nothing about it. But there is this second type of people as well who knows what they want to do, who knows that the life that they are living right now is not the life that they want to live. But then something happens, they just don't do it. They go to their 9 to 5 job, they do the things that their society told them to do, they follow the path that they have been following because that's the best thing that they could do at that time. And after they come back home, they feel so exhausted that they cannot think of doing something new, something other than what they have been doing so far. And although they have not completely abandoned the dreams that they had, it's buried inside. It's buried inside to the point that they want to take actions, but they just don't do it. So this is our dreamer mode. On the contrary, the people who are in doer mode, they just do the thing. You see all those millionaires and billionaires, you see all the singers and artists, and they are doing so many things that maybe you want to do in your own life, and you might think that this is the survivorship bias and they just got lucky, they just had the thing, they were born with it. And to the point it is true, to the point it is survivorship bias, and all those people maybe they got super lucky, but labeling all those things as simple dumb luck or survivorship bias, you are missing the fundamental problem that is keeping you in the dreamer mode. Now, to understand the real problem, I want you to do this two-step experiment. For the first step, close your eyes and think of the ideal life that you want to live, the things that you want to do, the people that you want to be around. Think of all the dreams that you had so far. So yeah, I want you to pause this video right now and complete the first step. Alright, so does that feel good? Did that give you some kind of satisfaction? Maybe a little bit of happiness? And very likely it did. And this is because of a simple chemical that your brain releases when you were doing the first step. And this is called dopamine. And this dopamine is not just this feel-good chemical that you get after you have completed some task. It is also meant to motivate you towards doing the things that will ultimately give the satisfaction. So if that's true, then the very next step must be taking the actual steps and completing the project that you want to do. But we don't do that. Why? To understand that, let's go to the next step of this experiment. So in the step 2, I want you to take a pen and a piece of paper and write step by step what are the things that you must do to achieve the things that you have imagined in the first step. So if your dream is becoming a millionaire, then what are the things that will give $1 million? If your dream is to become an actor, then how can you do that? What you must do to get to the position to being an actor. Now pause the video and complete the second step. So let me ask you again, did that feel good? Did that give you the same satisfaction, the same dopamine that you got in the first step? Very likely not, because thinking about what you want to achieve, thinking about all the dreams of yours, it's fun. It's like a nostalgia that you live. It's like thinking about the good old days. It's like thinking about the good things instead of it being old days, you are thinking about future. But in the second step, when you are actually thinking of taking those steps to achieve the things, it did not feel good. It did not give you the dopamine spike like earlier. So what you do next? So every time you try to think of the step 2 of this experiment, your brain takes a note that this did not feel good. On the other hand, the first step did feel good. So the simple conclusion that your brain gets is just do the first step over and over and don't ever think about going to the next step. So you can name it whatever you like. Maybe some people want to call it procrastination cycle. Some people will term it as fear of failure. But whatever the reason is, you have to understand, you have to identify the problem, that why the second step did not feel good. Were you afraid of something? Were you thinking that what others will think if you try to take the step 2? So the reason for you to being stuck in the first step, it can vary from person to person. So for some people it could be fear of failure. For someone else it could be the fear of what others gonna think about them. Will the sophisticated image that they have fabricated for years, will that break apart? What will happen if they try and they cannot achieve the things? Will others think less of them? I was reading this book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And in case you haven't read the book, it's a really good book. You can check it out. In that story, there was a crystal merchant who had this dream of going on a pilgrimage. And that was his lifetime dream. But at first, he didn't have that much money. So he thought, well, the pilgrimage will cost a lot of money. But later, when he had all the money, it was something else that was holding him back. It was this fear that if he completes the dream of his lifetime, what will he live for? What next after he achieved the thing that he wanted to achieve for so long? So for him, the fear was the fear of change, the fear of achieving what he wanted to achieve. And for others, it could be something else as well. My point is, you have to find that fear. You have to identify what is the real fear that is holding you back. Because unless you pinpoint that fear, you cannot work around it. Now that you have understood what is a dreamer and a doer mode, and what is the thing that is actually holding you, that is keeping you constantly in your dreamer mode, it's the time to understand how can you break out of it. And in reality, it's very simple. All you have to do is just start. Now, if you have completed the experiment, you already know that what you want to achieve in life, the dreams that you have already quantified all of your dreams, and in the next step, you have already written all the steps that you have to take to achieve those dreams. So in case you couldn't complete the second step because you don't know how to achieve the dreams, and that's totally okay. You probably have to read a lot of books, you probably have to learn a lot of things, and maybe watch a couple of videos online. But be careful. Don't get into the trap of continuously being in the planning phase. Some of us think that when you are planning about something, when you are watching a video, when you are reading a book about maybe, I don't know, maybe how to start a business or how to become a writer, they get into this mindset that I call pseudo doer mode, but where they think they are actually doing something, but in reality, all they are doing is thinking of how to achieve their dreams instead of actually doing them. So technically, they are in their dreamer phase, but they think that they have gone through it. So one simple trick that you can do for yourself to not get stuck in the planning phase is giving yourself a strict deadline. And if you are someone who doesn't know how to achieve your dreams, then I want you to take a 3 day or at max 1 week. Maybe you have to read a bunch of books, maybe you have to ask someone, maybe you have to watch a bunch of podcasts. You will figure it out. But do not take more than 1 week to do this. Now, once you have figured out what you must do, it's time to leave the dreamer mode and move into the doer mode. Think of the smallest actionable step that you can take and do it immediately. If your dream is to become a writer, then write 1 page, write anything that comes in your mind. It's just that simple. The writing doesn't have to be super sophisticated, but it just has to exist. It just has to be this tangible thing that is not stuck only in your brain. And at first, it will be so cringe, it will be so hard to do. And maybe you will laugh at yourself, maybe you will make a lot of mistakes. But that's the point. That is how you navigate this doer mode. You don't get all the rules, all the steps that you have to do at the very beginning. You have to navigate through all this failure. This reminds me of a quote, I'm not sure by whom, probably by Elon Musk. But which roughly means when you will do something new, you will make a lot of mistakes and you will fail. And the first time, it will hurt. It will hurt like hell. But instead of stopping at that time, you have to do it again. You have to learn from your mistakes and do it again. And maybe you will fail for the second time. That will hurt a little less. And by the time you have gone to your 50th failure, you will realize how far you have come. You will realize all the things that you have learned throughout this journey. And probably you are still chasing the same dreams. Probably you are still not where you wanted to be. But when you will look back, you will see yourself that you are in your doer phase and you are so much ahead of others who are still stuck in the dreamer phase.